Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of COVID Conversations. I am joined today by Colin Brown, a co op student here at the University of Lethbridge.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. As you said, my name is Colin Brown. I am a general management major at the U of L Calgary campus, and I am in my final year right now.
What kind of brought you to the U of L Calgary campus? Like, what kind of, interested you to do that opposed to the main campus as of right now?
Yeah, so this is actually my second time attending the University of Lethbridge. So I did complete one degree at the main campus previously. So my background is in political science. I did live in Lethbridge for 5 years actually while I completed that. I had known about the Bachelor of Management as a second degree that's offered, and when found out that it was offered at the Calgary campus, then I it was a pretty easy decision to hop on that. I really liked the added flexibility of having evening classes.
Did you do anything in between your two degrees?
Yes, I did quite a lot in between degrees. Always wanted to travel a lot once I finished university. So, in order to support that kind of lifestyle, I fell into the hospitality industry and kind of partly by accident became a chef. So, I did that for several years. I actually started that during my first degree. I worked as a chef a little bit just to pay the bills, pay the tuition in my first degree.
Yeah.
So the fact that I already had a bit of experience and it's just a great job to have if you want to move around a lot. You can find work almost anywhere in the world
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
a restaurant or a hotel or something like that. So it worked out.
Just kind of what you do for the company that you work for.
Sure. So I'm a public servant. I work for the federal government in the Department of Crown Indigenous Relations and Northern Affairs Canada. And more specifically, I work in the negotiation central branch. So my team deals with um, all Alberta files. So we deal with like self-government negotiations in Alberta with various First Nations groups in Alberta. My supervisor is a negotiator, and my job is to just support him in his role in whatever needs to be
But
done.
as far as you personally, what is your most interesting part of your job, I guess? Like what gets you excited about, going to work every day?
Part of it is just being able to sit in on important meetings, even some that I don't necessarily contribute to, but just being able to kind of absorb the information because I'm able to sit in on some like somewhat higher level meetings, and then from there the information or strategies that get developed there eventually make their way up the chain and actually influence um, decision makers in the country. So it's pretty cool, even if in my job I've only been there 2 months. So I can't say that I individually have a ton of influence or anything, but getting to see how the process works and how things do filter up the chain is super interesting, and it's really just cool to be a part of that.
As far as COVID, what's been your biggest challenge, I guess?
It has had a huge impact on the work that we actually do, in that normally we would be meeting in person with First Nations in Alberta, and we'd be traveling a lot, usually traveling up north or down south, wherever we need to go to meet with various First Nations groups. The meetings are less frequent now because there's just generally an appetite to meet in person.
In regards to your co-op, I guess the final question I just wanted to ask was what what's been your biggest learning point, or what's kind of been your best bit of advice and something that you would like to share with maybe either other co-op students or just, the people in general?
I'm not sure where I got this advice or if maybe I just came up with it myself, but I think when you're in a position where you don't have a lot of experience yet, I think it's beneficial to just say yes to as many things as possible. I think once you get experience, then you have to be more selective of what you choose to um, focus your time and energy on. But if your goal is to just get experience, just get it in any way you can.
Well, that's awesome. And I feel like you also learned that from your past, traveling and working, is if you find a job in the mountains where you can go and cook food, go do it and see what experience you can get from that. So
Absolutely.
that's fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you doing the interview with us, Colin. That was co-op student, international traveling chef, and current government co-op student Colin Brown. So I'd just like to thank you again for joining us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And my name is Noah Hedderick, and this was COVID Conversations.